Socialists are taking over the Democrat Party. Milot Kiros just knocked off a Democrat who's held this Colorado seat for 15 terms, 3 decades. And afterwards, she thanked her comrades.
I want you all, seriously, look at each other. Half of the people here are strangers to you all. Just months ago, you didn't know them. But now you have comrades. You have friends in this movement, people that you know will fight for your rights just as much as you're gonna fight for them. That is solidarity. That is a movement.
Comrades. You know, that's one of those words we don't exactly throw around in America. You don't hear it at Little League games. You don't hear it at the Rotary Club. You don't hear it from your buddies when you show up for 18 holes of golf. It's a choice. And it's a choice, according to the communist's biggest streamer and cheerleader, Hassan Piker, that's coming to your home.
I think progressive politics, left populism, a politics that centers the needs of the working class can work in every district, in every state. That's why I kept saying over and over again, it's coming to a city near you.
And as you weigh your choice, here is what they're selling.
We will not wait to take the fight to Donald Trump and the oligarchy. We will not wait. We will not wait to abolish ICE and pass Medicare for all. We will not wait to put an end to the politics of the past, to get big money out of our politics, and to reject corporate PACs and AIPAC. We will not wait to end the genocide in Palestine.
It's as cute as air horns that Democrats like Hakeem Jeffries think these people are auditioning to become Democrats, that they're now part of a new big tent. These people are auditioning to take over Democrats and to own the tent.
Rewind, they showed you? Really? Where? What do you mean? Oh. Oh, this is my
A politics that centers the needs of the working class can work in every district, in every state. That's why I kept saying over and over again, it's coming to a city near you.
And as you weigh your choice, here is what they're selling.
We will.
How workers at the wall.
I mean, this is my favorite graphic, by the way. Whenever they post.
The Democratic Socialist of America.
This is my favorite graphic because it's unironically bars. It literally, it is so perfect. Israel's genocide is becoming more of a topic in Hong's race for governor. Rodriguez and Crowley dropped out of a Wisconsin Muslim Civic Alliance forum the last minute to avoid answering a question about genocide. Good. It should be, because it's a great litmus test for this reason, because these people don't want to fucking actually take a real position, They don't want to face their voters. They don't want to face these concerns. They want to just like cast it aside. They don't want to address it, because it is one of the best ways to figure out if you're going to be on the side of the voters, you're going to be on the side of the people, you're going to be on the side of truth and justice, or you're going to be on the side of moneyed interests. Okay. There is no other reason as to why at this stage in 2026, someone would unironically advance this idea that Israel has not committed a genocide, would shy away from saying the truth. It's because they're terrified. They're terrified of getting attacked. They're getting money from these advocacy organizations. Someone who will not say the truth about Israel's genocide will not stand with you and fight for you, for your health care, for your housing. It's that simple.
What is their platform? What is it that they believe? Well, it's things that we've all heard.
Medicare for all, college for all, housing for all, 32-hour work week, tax the rich, Green New Deal, free Palestine. Banger. Thank you. Thank you, Will Kane in the membrane. Will Kane in the motherfucking brain. That's what I'm talking about. What a beauty this is. Thank you, Fox News. Thank you, my goats. We're going to get
Medicare for all, college for all, housing for all, and doing all of that with a 32-hour work week. It's a virtual wish list on a college freshman dorm room. You'll pay for it by, of course, taxing the rich, and why don't we throw in the Green New Deal and free Palestine along the way? But the DSA goes further. They are looking to, for example, end the U.S. war machine, fight mass incarceration and police.
What? No. In the U.S. war machine, but I love the U.S. war machine. But I love the U.S. war machine. What? No!
Police brutality, allow workers to migrate between countries, end all immigrant detention and deportations, immediate amnesty social services for all immigrants, and fully extending voting rights to criminals and non-citizens. And yet, it even gets more radical. With that power, here is your change. Seek statehood for Washington, D.C., replace the two-party system, expand the House, popular vote for president, and limit the powers of the Supreme Court. And yet all of this that I have just shown you.
Terrifying. Abdul on CNN, let's go, let's go.
Who are concerned that if Democratic primary voters pick you, you're not going to be able to win the general election.
I asked them to focus, y'all, because at the end of the day, the issue is the economy, stupid, as I believe the last individual you just highlighted suggested. And right now, people can't afford the basic means of a dignified life. They're worried about whether or not they can see a doctor if they get sick, how they're going to afford a home or the next payment, whether or not they can stay in the job they've worked for years and years. And we're focused on exactly those issues, the issues that Democrats should have been focusing on for the vast majority of the last 20 years. And I think we've taken our eyes off the ball. And in part, it's because too often our politics get sieved through conversations like this about the future of the party. Most people don't care about the future of the party. They care about their future. And so long as we're answering questions about that, helping them to get money out of their politics so we can get money in their pockets and pass Medicare for all, you're going to see candidates who have those conversations like we are in Michigan winning.
The reality, though, is there's no way Medicare for all passes Congress if Democrats don't control the Senate. And if you don't win that Senate seat in Michigan, it's very hard to see how Democrats win the Senate at all.
You're right. And the reason we don't win seats too often is because we offer milquetoast corporate talking points about what we can't have and shouldn't fight for. I believe we can have Medicare for all. I wrote a whole book on how to do it. I know we can do it if we're willing to build the kind of politics and the kind of coalition that gets us there. But we're not going to get there not talking about what we need to actually deliver for folks. I think campaigns are winning across the country because we have bold views on what can actually happen when we're willing to fight for them. And I think Democrats could learn a broader lesson about what we're learning here. I'm a proud Democrat. I love my party. I just want my party to actually focus on the things that real voters actually need in their lives.
So you obviously are very critical of President Donald Trump. You identify him as a problem, as a way that, a place that the country needs to move away from. However, if you're going to win in Michigan, you're going to have to win over at least some Trump voters. The state went for Trump in the most
How do you think you can do
election.
that with America Deserve 9/11
Is there anything that he's done in this second term in office that you can identify as being good for the country?
Never mind. Thank God they're actually asking serious shit.
And as you squint, I think if he lets this housing bill actually pass, despite the fact that he canned his signing ceremony because he wants to pass the SAVE Act, this housing bill will do really, really important work. So I think that's one important thing, bipartisan legislation that actually solves a real problem that people have. But I'll tell you this, I've been to 110 different cities now, 400 and some public events.
That's my goat.
And everywhere I go, I have 3-time Trump voters come up to me and say, I'm voting for you because you really want to keep my tax dollars here and you really want me to have health care. The idea that voters pick on this left-right spectrum, that's a model that we created in our minds, and we keep imposing it on elections, even though it doesn't really explain what's actually happening. Most voters are out there trying to just make sure that they can make ends meet. They don't care as much about our left-right spectrum and blue and red and purple.
I don't know why
they care about whether or not
shit.
you actually want to solve their problems. And when you go to their community, you have conversations, you've done the listening and the learning, and you're willing to actually tell people where you stand, you'd be surprised how many people who voted for Donald Trump might be voting for somebody named Abdul El-Sayed.